We are live. Uh-oh. Welcome to
problems.
National Hug a Danish Drummer Day.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
that's it. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. See you guys next year.
Metallica fans, the countdown is over. Welcome to everyone here with us and to our worldwide audience as well. I'm Andy Hall, and we are coming to you live from the Mecca of rock music, the iconic Metallica HQ.
The iconic Metallica HQ.
Yeah.
The Mecca of rock music.
This is the spot.
Who writes this stuff? What? The Mecca of
It
rock
was quoted from
music.
Polestar. It was quoted from Polestar.
Today we make history, a partnership between the biggest touring rock band in the world
Wow.
and the largest independent festival promoter in the U.S.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
With over 800,000 tickets sold in 2019 alone, Danny Wimmer Presents is a force to be reckoned with in the live music space. And we're here to celebrate what is coming in 2020. With that said, it is my pleasure to introduce the founder of DWP, Danny Wimmer.
All right, Danny.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are friends. You know, this is. I know all of you guys, and it's special to have all you guys here. But let me get started here. Hello, friends. What a day for DWP and the fans of our festivals. I couldn't be more proud sitting with you all at Metallica's headquarters. Iconic headquarters. Iconic. Thank you. I was just about to say that right here. As a fan of this band, I have to say, I still get goosebumps walking into Metallica's headquarters. A lot of music history making was done right here, man. And first thing I would like to say is a big thank you to Q Prime and Team HQ for helping us get this to the finish line. In this business, it takes true leadership and vision from a band and its team to accomplish what Metallica has done. And thanks to the fans.
I'm getting misty-eyed now. I'm sorry. Anybody else? Wow.
Lars Ulrich, this is your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me start that again. All right. And thanks to the fans and press that are here and tuned in all over the world. Now, let's get into this. I spent a lot of time with the fans, and I asked them, what do you want to see? And 9 out of 10 times, it's Metallica. So, back in 2017, when we announced Metallica for Rock on the Range, all the fans of our other festivals thought they were getting Metallica. And they didn't. So, I got death threats. I got how I ruined Christmas. I mean, Gary, we were like devastated, and
I'm glad my name wasn't Danny Wimmer on that day.
I was like, I actually had to move because I was getting death threats in my house. But this time, all the festivals are getting Metallica. Hold on. Twice.
Twice.
That's twice.
Wait, what does that mean?
Hold
Hang on a second.
hold on.
Wait, hang on, wait. Can I speak? Just can you, me and you in the back? Okay. Okay, Danny.
We're done with that, right?
Yeah.
We confirmed that,
Yeah,
right?
we're-
Okay. Because once from the world's biggest band is simply not enough. And by the way, that's a fact. That's a fact. This is the
I'm just here
biggest
to nod
touring.
along, yeah.
This is the biggest touring act in the world. That ain't an opinion. That's a fact. And Ali says, it ain't bragging if it's the truth. We push ourselves to give our fans the biggest and best show that we can deliver. So we're bringing 2 Metallica headlining sets to each of these festivals. That's right. So I'm going to give you the dates and the cities. Ready? So Epicenter, May 1 through 3 at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina.
Back to the Speedway.
Welcome to Rockville is May 8th through 10th at Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. Sonic Temple is May 15th through the 17th at Monterey Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. Louder Than Life, September 18th through the 20th at Highland Festival Grounds in Kentucky Expo Center in Louisville, Kentucky. And you and I will be doing a lot of bourbon.
That's
drinking
right.
that day.
Of course.
Blackened. By the way, I took your
Boilermaker
blackened.
is my new favorite word.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I literally was driving around with your blackened truck all through Louisville. Anyways, another day. Another day.
He wasn't driving. Yes.
Well, I had a driver because I was drinking. I was drinking. You got to practice what you preach, so you have to drink it. Okay. So
I just
Aftershock.
got to practice. No, if we're going to play 2 shows in 1 week.
Yeah. So, and then, not too far from your hometown, Aftershock, October 9th through 11th at Discovery Park in Sacramento, California. So, just to be clear what I'm saying here, Metallica is playing, they're closing Friday night and they're closing Sunday night of every festival. That's 2 sets.
Woo!
So
Sorry, so I thank you for that. I got to go now because I got to get to the gym and start prepping for this. Shit, 2 shows in 1 weekend. Okay. And somebody even whispered something about different sets.
in different sets.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do this quick, and I'm gonna go lay down.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for all that. That was like a trip to This Is Your Life.
And I'm
Anyway,
not done.
No, you're not done. Okay.
And in closing,
Let me
But
close this
also,
out.
okay.
Comes the roast.
On Saturday, each member of Metallica will be doing a stand-up set in the comedy tent.
Done. That's done. Confirmed.
And we'll be acting as MCs introducing all the other bands on the festival. We'll actually, we'll be out in the parking lot handing out Blackened and Enter Night to everybody. We'll be helping valet your cars, and we'll be offering sandwiches and non-alcoholic beverages to those who don't drink or aren't 21. I can keep going.
that is a good,
Okay.
that is a good segue to talk about how much Metallica cares about its fans.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, I can go on and on. What we're thinking here, we're thinking ahead. We're thinking outside of the box because that's what Metallica has been doing for over 35 years. They take the road less traveled, and in 2020, that road is with DWP. Yeah. Let's roll. Let's roll, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, Lars Ulrich.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow. Okay. National Hunker Drummer Day. Yeah. Okay, come here.
Hey, Vicky.
Wow.
He does hug.
Okay. Warren, who wrote all that? Did you write that? What? I mean, first of all, it's hard for me to sit still, period. Then having to listen to that is even harder, but thank you for all those kind words.
Hey, it's the truth.
Well, thank you. Well, as we like to hear ourselves say in Metallica, all our best years are still ahead of us. So we're just getting started. So if this keeps going at this rate, there may be even a record deal around the corner. So keep your fingers crossed. And these 10 festival appearances should definitely help facilitate that.
We did start a label, so if you want to,
All right.
we can close the deal right now.
Mark, can you talk to Danny about that? Maybe we can merge Blackened Records and
Let's do it.
there you go.
Let's do it.
All right, you heard it here first.
Where's my lawyer? Your lawyer. Let's do this.
Listen, it's great to be here at HQ in the room with us. It is like family. We have all the local radio stations from the cities hosting these festivals, along with our friends from Sirius XM and from Beats One as well. Lars, you ready for some questions?
I'm very ready, yeah. Very ready.
Let's do this. Where are we going to begin over here?
Hi, Lars. I'm Ronnie Hunter with 99.7 The Blitz, Columbus, Ohio.
Nice to see
I
you.
want to
Thanks for coming
thank
out.
you for letting us tour your facility. I cried like a baby in your practice room, but I promise I didn't put anything on your drum kit. Swear.
And even if you did, it would be fine.
All right, first question. It took 9 years, but Metallica finally played at Rock on the Range. That festival happened in 2017. And you headlined day 3, which was sold out, which was the most amazing experience I've ever witnessed in that place. As announced today, Metallica, Danny Wimmer Presents, rolling out a 1-2 punch in 2020. With Columbus being the birthplace of Rock on the Range, DWP's very first festival. Can you talk a little bit about what went into deciding to do this collaboration with DWP? Not that they're just amazing, but what else for all the festivals, including a return to Columbus for Sonic Temple Art and Music Fest?
Thank you for rolling out. They're amazing. No, they're just amazing. No, it's that was supposed to be funny. Okay. Well, obviously, being in Columbus in 17 was an incredible day for us. Day 3 of a weekend obviously had a sad start with Chris and everything that went down with that was obviously set a tone for all of us that was horrendous to carry. But we came in on Sunday. We just landed. My memory is we just landed before the weather, and it just, if anybody was there, it was fucking crazy. And I think when Volbeat was playing, all hell literally like broke loose over the stadium, and we were in a circling pattern backstage. I think Volbeat were on and off a couple times, thunder, lightning, sitting over the stadium, and finally we got out and played. Not too late, but and the vibe and the intensity and the I think the appreciation from the fans was really felt, and it was one of those perfect rock and roll moments where everything just kind of comes together, and I think the barrier between the band and the fans disappears, and we're all there to celebrate rock and roll, to celebrate an incredible weekend, to celebrate Chris Cornell and everything else that happened that weekend. So that was our first dipping our toes in all things Danny. And so a couple of 6 months, 4 months, something like that, we started talking.
Yeah.
And now we're all sitting in this room together, sharing the announcement that we're doing all 5 of your festivals and doing obviously a double dose. So we like friends and we like partners and people that are sort of have the same worldview as we do, are just people that we want to do stuff with and hang out with. And so when this sort of came up as an idea, I like to hear myself say that it's one of those we call no-brainer in Metallica, which is basically, duh, of course. Let's do this and just make it happen. And like you said, Q Prime and the rest of the HQ team take care of the practicals. And now we've got our work cut out for us. It's kind of, for us, 38 years in, that we still feel that we can challenge ourselves and do crazy, uncharted things is such an amazing thing to us still. And it's one of what I would say is the things about our success that we appreciate the most, that we can still do a lot of stuff that we haven't done before, maybe others haven't done before, and that are unorthodox and kind of edgy and a little outside of the box. So when this idea of playing 2 shows in the same weekend festival came up, I was like, fuck yeah, let's do that. And now I do have to go to the gym.
Hey, let me add something to that.
Please.
Because, talking to your team and talking with you, the one big thing was your fans are going to multiple shows. So one of the concepts was, let's make it easier. Because, you're seeing more and more the way the Grateful Dead built their following, Metallica is now at that level where if you're playing 20 dates, talking to Q Prime, they're like, there's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of people going to multiple dates when you're run. And I'm like, what a great experience, because listen, we're at a place where price point is everything. And to me, it just made so much sense that here you go, you can just spend a weekend and see 2 Metallica shows.
Yeah, and it also falls right in our wheelhouse because, as some of you guys know, we always change the set list. We haven't played the same 2 shows. I've trained myself to now say we haven't played the same 2 shows since 2004, other than at film shoots. Okay, because we did play the same set at S&M, and we did play the same set through the Never shoots. But other than at film shoots, Metallica has not played the same set list twice since 2004 when we started our live Metallica.com download thing. And so the idea of always playing different set lists and challenging ourselves and casting the net wide is something that we love. And all our fans who see a lot of the shows and go on tour with us really, I think, appreciate the fact that there's always different songs, and we like to go deep and cover songs and weirder this and that and songs that we haven't played and we don't know very well, and all that stuff is part of the ride and part of what we love to do. So getting a chance to do this 5 times next year is going to be insane.
It's going to be great, man. It's going to be great.
Another question.
Hey, Lars, Pat Lynch from 101.1 WJRR in Orlando. Thanks for letting us invade your space. This is amazing. And thank you, Danny, for letting JRR be a part of this. We're excited in Central Florida that Rockville is now going to be at the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. And you use the phrase edgy, unorthodox, and out of the box. And that kind of sets me up for the question I wanted to ask you. I was lucky enough to see you guys play one of the most obscure places I've ever been to, and I'm thinking you guys too, the Tuktoyaktuk Arctic Canada gig back in the early 90s, which was...
There used to be a poster for that in here. I think some of this may have been rearranged because of all our friends coming here, but there was a Tuktoyaktuk poster hanging here somewhere the other day.
Surreal place, right?
Incredible. Were you there? You were there with us?
Yes, I was there for it, and it was amazing. On the opposite end of the spectrum, now we are at Daytona International Speedway with your festival appearances. The place is gigantic. Have you ever been there? Have you ever had it overwhelm you when you walk into a venue and just go, holy cow? Because Daytona gives you that holy cow every time you're in there. This is probably going to be the biggest non-racing event ever at Daytona International Speedway, and probably the biggest rock show ever in the state of Florida. Wow. Is this the biggest facility that you guys ever played, facility-wise?
Well, since I don't know how many people are going to be showing up.
A lot. We're going for a lot.
Shitload.
A fuckload. Okay.
We're going for record-breaking.
Yeah.
Record-breaking here.
We've obviously been... Well, thank you for all that, and thank you, by the way, for coming. Nice to see you. And Tuktoyaktuk, just for those, I don't know if everybody knows what that was in the mid-'90s. It was a promotion a Canadian beer company was doing where they flew Metallica, Hole...
Moist,
and Veruca Salt.
Yeah.
There you go. Up to, so when most people think of Canada, right, you think of the East Coast and the West Coast of Canada, but there's also a north part, and that north part is on the Arctic Ocean. And somebody somewhere came up with a brilliant idea of flying a bunch of rock bands and a bunch of contest winners up to a village up there on the Arctic Ocean called Tuktoyaktuk. And we were up there for 36 hours, played a show, hung out. Everybody in the village was invited. It was super cool. They were very open and welcoming and embracive. And then we played and we drank some Canadian beer and we fucked off. Those pre-enter night days. But so coming back to Florida again, to Central Florida will be amazing. We had an incredible show in Orlando 2 summers ago and played down in Miami a couple days later. Obviously, a lot of history back to the old Lakeland Civic, and obviously we played in Jacksonville and Tallahassee and a lot of shows in around Tampa and St. Pete. I actually spent a year, as some of you know, before this rock and roll. Before I ran off with rock and roll, I spent a year in Nick Bollettieri's tennis camp down in Sarasota, Bradenton, so I know Florida well. and we're looking forward to coming back. We've played some big shows over the years. Obviously, I always reference the one in Russia in '91 with AC/DC and Pantera as one of the craziest and biggest. I don't know what the number was. Nobody knows what the number was. A lot of people say it's 500,000, give or take. It was a free show, and that was insane. We played some big festivals and some big stadium shows. I look forward to coming to Daytona and experiencing this. And somewhere between a fuckload and a lot is somewhere the needle will land right between those two words. And we're going to have an amazing weekend, and we look forward to coming back to Central Florida.
All right, next.
Cool. Hi, Lars. Chumley from 107.3 Planet Radio in Jacksonville. So you said double dose of Metallica just a little while ago, and I love the way that sounds. Double dose, we should put that on a T-shirt. I survived a double dose at Rockville. I think would be epic. So we're very excited to have 2 different Metallica dates, obviously, and at Rockville this year with 2 different sets with so many great songs over the years. And obviously, by the time these shows roll around, you're not touring off a new release. How will you determine what songs make the cut?
How do you know that? That was too easy. I'm sorry. Well, I appreciate you again. Thank you for coming out, and I appreciate your question. Most of you, I feel like most of us know each other fairly well, and so a lot of you know that as far as the set list is concerned, I mean, these shows are 7-8 months away, and the ones in the fall are almost a year away. I really don't think that much about the set list that much in advance. I mean, we like to go deep, and obviously anybody who knows us knows that we like to dust off things that we haven't played for a while. I think as I've circled through this in my Danish brain a couple times, the one thing I haven't quite figured out is our production manager, Dan Brown, refers to them as the toe-tapping favorites. So there's obviously a few toe-tapping favorites, quote unquote, and so I have to figure out how to sort of split them up and what to do about those, and then the rest of it will come together. It'll be fun, like I said, it'll be challenging, but we thrive on this shit, and anytime we get a chance to do anything outside of the norm, Metallica are 4 very happy guys. So, we kind of thrive on sometimes chaotic energy, and this will come together. I don't want to freak anybody out here, especially Danny, but it may not come together until about 24 hours before the first show, but it will definitely come together. And I think part of what makes Metallica work is that we don't overplan this stuff, and so we never. We don't overplan it, we don't overthink it, so we sort of prevent ourselves from getting too robotic, and there always has to be a human element and an impulsive element and a momentary element, and so we always try to find that right balance. But I'm sure by the time we show up in North Carolina, which is the first shows, right, that we will have it somewhat together. Thanks for asking.
We'll try to.
Making our way across the aisle.
Oh, you can go. Okay. Lamont and Tonelli from
Lamont
Tonelli,
guys.
107.7
Yeah.
The Bone, San Francisco. We are the station that lives for Metallica. Thank you
That's
very
right.
much. Listen, I hate to beat a drum over and over again with the set list, but I've got to ask, we go to all the Metallica shows, and there's like one, and Enter Sandman, and For Whom the Bell Tolls. These are all standards at your show. And if you're going to a festival where you have 2 sets, a Friday and a Sunday night, but most of the people go to all 3 nights at these festivals, is there a slight chance that if you go to one of these sets, you're going to miss one of these standard songs? And I'm going to expand on that. Is it possible that maybe when you guys are there, you maybe put a little more emphasis on certain albums at one of these concerts?
I mean, those are great questions. Great
Yeah.
to see both of you.
Thank you.
As usual, you know the hallways here well.
Yes.
like we were just talking about, I really don't have that dialed quite yet. Like I said, you said favorites, you know, and the standards or whatever. We'll have to figure it out. And you know, I think the most important part of this to Metallica, the most important part of this to the fans, and the most important thing to the festival is that the shows will be different. And I think that it's not exactly like Metallica keeps a low profile and comes out of hiding once every 10 years. So if you end up at a show and you may hear this, but not hear that and that, you know, we sort of keep coming back and we keep coming back and we keep coming back like the Energizer Bunny. And, you know, I think that the beauty in this is that it'll be special. And I think that all 5 of these festival appearances, all 10 of these shows will be unique. And like most of you guys know, I try to, you know, every set is different, every set list, and even, you know, obviously, so it won't be the same 5 groups of 2 set lists.
Right.
So all 10 of these shows will be different.
Is there
He
a
says
chance
a year in advance?
Is there a chance you might focus on one individual album?
Honestly, we haven't gotten that far. I was talking to somebody a couple days ago, and he was like, next year is the 30th anniversary of the Black Album. I go, really? Next year is the 40th anniversary of Metallica, and like I always say, when you've been around as long as we have, I mean, you can pretty much find an anniversary in anything. So if you go through these records or any of the stuff, I mean, somewhere there's an anniversary. And does it even have to have a 0 as the second number? I mean, today's the 18th anniversary of the day I ate granola for breakfast or whatever. So let's celebrate that by playing Saint Anger backwards, standing on our heads. You know, I mean, we can, I guarantee you, we can keep coming up with crazy reasons and crazy cool shit to throw at our fans as long as they'll have us. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and but we haven't gotten that far into it yet. Like I said, it some of the stuff has a tendency to happen kind of as we you know, can reach out and touch those concerts a couple days ahead of us, you know.
Pat Martin from 98 Rock, Sacramento. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
How are you? Last 2 shows of this tour are basically hometown shows for you, right down the road.
That's right.
It's kind of your backyard in a way, right? How important is the home field advantage? Does that exist?
Well, I think obviously Metallica has, you know, been at home in San Francisco, the Bay Area, for 36 years. We came up here in '83, and obviously, I would like to think that San Francisco, the Bay Area, Northern California is a big part of our identity, and also certainly a significant part of our success, because it gave us a sense of belonging. It encouraged Metallica to be autonomous, to be I guess free, and do our thing. You know, we left LA, and obviously we've had a great relationship with LA since we left, but we really felt that time, what we were doing, we felt like we couldn't really do what we were doing in LA at that time. And so coming to San Francisco and being welcomed and being encouraged to stay true to our roots and to what we were feeling, and giving us that sense of confidence and that sense of belonging, that's all San Francisco, the Bay Area, Oakland, San Jose, NorCal, Sacramento, however far you want to cast the geographical net. So obviously, you know, as you know, we write San Francisco on half the merchandise, and we shout from the rooftops about this being our home, and we're very proud of it. And so, yeah, home field advantage, fuck yeah. I mean, the 2 shows, the 2 S&M shows was amazing. 15, 20 minutes from where I sleep. It's great. When we played at the Salesforce gig last year outside of City Hall, I mean, that's even closer to where I sleep. So, I mean, short commutes up and down to Sacramento next summer, next fall, I'll take it.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you guys.
Right back
Hometown
at
show.
you. That's right.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Lars Schroom from WEBN, Cincinnati. Pleasure to be here. Metallica.
Is that why you're wearing glasses?
Yeah, yeah, it's a play off my last name, really. You know, my name was given to me. I didn't like it, but, you know, I've grown into it. Anyhow, Metallica obviously has their branded whiskey with Blackened. You got a beer with Enter Night. Can you talk about what went into expanding into endeavors other than music? Like, and how have the sales been? And with all the legalization of marijuana, could we get a Metallica marijuana strain?
And there it is.
Right?
Hey,
First of all, when we were in Cincinnati in was it late January?
Yes,
that
I
was the
there.
the coldest gig we've ever played. So if the answer is not we need whiskey to keep warm in Cincinnati in January, I don't know what is. That was crazy because it was crazy cold outside, but it was also crazy cold inside. And so it was this weird thing about sitting up on stage, sweating and being cold at the same time. But as always, the audience and our friends were incredible. John, marijuana? Yes, no, maybe? Huh?
It's on the plate.
All right. Yeah.
Well, hey, Lars.
On the plate. But circling back to, yeah, I mean, obviously.
I have the facts here. We worked out with Lars and his team. In 2019, we created a partnership with them called the Boilermaker. So we had Blackened Whiskey and Inner Night. We moved tons of cases of whiskey. You can tell this brand is starting to do this. Now, you know, we just had a big bourbon festival in Louisville. Kroger has come on as one of the biggest retail programs in the country. They are now going to push Blackened big time. They saw how it moved the needle. But I can tell you for a fact, we're selling a lot of cases at the festival. We're going to increase that footprint for 2020 since you guys are going to be there. It'll even be bigger. Something is happening with that brand.
Well, thank you, and obviously thank you for being so collaborative this year, and so the Boilermaker tent, James's truck,
and his truck. I was
and
driving
the
around.
truck, yeah, right. And so it's been an incredible partnership so far. Thank you, and you know, I'm happy that these two beverages. I'm not a big fan of the word brand, but these beverages, it's been on our radar, obviously, for a long time, and a lot of the other groups that we appreciate and respect, like the Iron Maidens of the world and so on, have done incredibly well. So we've had this idea for some years, and it was just a matter of the right partnerships and finding the right. We didn't want to just stamp a Metallica logo on a whiskey bottle or a can of beer. It was about finding kindred spirits and people that sort of have the same worldview as us. That's very important in any partnership that we get into. And so obviously we look forward to sharing Enter Night and Blackened with all the fans that are over 21 and are inclined to partake in this. And Danny and his team have been incredibly supportive at all the festivals they've had this year and getting the word out there. And you know, from what I can tell, and the feedback that gets to me, I mean, people really seem to embrace both of these beverages, not just because of the association with Metallica, but more importantly to me, is because if you like whiskey, if you like bourbon, if you like a beer that's got a little bit of a kick to it, then these two beverages really are quality beverages.
Well,
There's that word again,
the
so.
great thing is you bless his soul, Dave Pickler, who's a dear friend of mine. You guys found an incredible partner when you went out to create Blackened.
Unbelievable,
and he is a superstar. He was at Maker's Mark, and then he was at Whistle Pig, and you guys really have found.
It was an incredible partnership.
It was a great partnership. So,
and now with our new guy, Rob Dietrich, who's taken the reins
he's
now
done
after
a great job.
Dave's untimely passing, he's also leading us into some really exciting new areas for the next couple years. So thanks for asking, but it's going to be great.
I'm a bourbon collector, and it's actually really good.
Thank you.
Hey, Lars. Tony
man.
Tilford from 95.7 WQMF Louisville, the epicenter of bourbon for the planet, and also the home of the Metallica fan known as Kidney Stone Guy these days. I want to step away from the music side of Metallica for a second, and the alcohol side and the weed side, and ask you on the most recent leg of the European Worldwide Tour. The band donated over 1.6 million pounds to charitable causes via the All Within My Hands Foundation. Why did the band decide to form this foundation? And then how do you go about deciding which charitable organizations that you're going to help out with the organization?
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for asking. As Metallica has toured around, we've always worked closely with food banks. When a rock and roll tour comes to town, there's a lot of food that's being provided. There's a lot of food that's left over. And so kind of under the radar for at least 20 years, we've been working with food banks to try to not have things go to waste and to try to support the local communities the best we can. A couple of 4 or 5 years ago, especially as social media was really getting, being an effective tool of communication and really getting into a different place, it felt like we were always a little skeptical of. We felt that it was pure to kind of be under the radar about our work and our charitable stuff, but about 4 or 5 years ago, it was like, you know what, we've got to scream this from every rooftop. We got to get the Metallica fans out there to help the best way we can, and now social media is such an effective way to include everybody. So we formed the organization and we went sort of public with it, and it's been 3 years now, and we're very proud of everything that we've done. We're very proud of how, especially, I think that maybe hard rock and heavy metal sometimes gets viewed upon as a very narcissistic and kind of selfish music form, and that when you think of charitable work and doing well and so on, that hard rock fans are not usually thought of in that way. So it's very important for me and for Metallica to really get the fans involved and to show the rest of the music world and the doubters out there that Metallica fans and music fans, Metallica fans and metal fans can be as engaging and as charitable and as helpful to their local communities and on a national basis. And so it's been incredible what's happened in the last couple of years, and we're very proud of a couple things. Without overly selling it, we fund the whole charity, so every single dollar that comes in goes straight back out. We take care of all the expenses and so on. And I think it's been amazing to see the Metallica fans all over the world roll up their sleeves and get involved. And $2 and euros and pounds and whatever concert tickets we sell, $2 go to local charities. And so we work with the promoters in each cities and try to find the charities that are, usually food, homeless, poverty. We work a lot with organizations that help kids that are runaways, that have been bullied, that are living in broken homes, and so on. So that's kind of the main categories of the touring stuff that we get into. And then obviously we have our scholarships and our educational stuff that we do on a national basis in America. All right, thank you.
Yes, that's great.
Hey, Lars. Briggs, 95.7 The Hog in Daytona Beach. Thank you for letting us come into your home. Thanks to Danny and everybody who got us out of Florida for a few hours. We appreciate it. When you, it's not bad. This is better. When you hit these festivals now, especially in Daytona Beach, you're going to have a day off, other than taking a nap, and maybe we can play tennis. I hope, if you bring your racket. But what are you looking forward to do? Are you going to watch bands?
So other than napping, and other than you and I playing tennis,
sure,
and other than there's a new theme park that's opened in Orlando, Disney something.
Disney Springs.
Yeah. So my wife is the biggest Disney fanatic on this planet, and there are quite a lot of those. So I promised her on Saturday that I'm going to take her to Disney World.
Oh, you got plans already? Okay.
She's never been to Disney World. She's been to most of the rest of them, but for some reason, Disney World itself has escaped her. So whoever wants to come hang out in Disney World on that Saturday, you're welcome. Other than that, obviously, on those Saturdays, I love going to festivals, love hanging out and seeing bands and being inspired and seeing old friends and so on, new friends also. So I'm sure that if you're looking for me or some of the other members of Metallica on that Saturday, in between napping and playing tennis, we'll be hanging at the festival.
This is
Don't
he is
forget your
not.
racket.
Lars isn't lying. I ran into Lars at the side stage at Outside Lands this past August with his daughter, just watching a 2 o'clock side stage band. So
no,
he'll be there.
Yeah, I go to a
Still a
lot of
music fan.
lot of festivals.
Still a huge music fan. I saw you at Outside Lands hanging out. It's just, it's so great that you're just still, you're not jaded and you love music and you're still, really supporting everybody out there. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's super inspiring, and it's also, I mean, living in San Francisco, and you guys know, when cool bands come to town, we go and hang out and check things out, and I'm always, got, cool bands on the calendar, and so it's one of my favorite things to do in the world is to go be inspired and check in with other bands.
Just checking
And now.
the microphone works. What's up,
Hey,
Lars?
man. Good to
Jose
see you again.
Mangan from Sirius XM. What's up, brother? Much love. I went out to the second S&M show at Chase Center, and I think my friend Sonny and I were the only dudes in full tuxedos. We rented tuxes. I thought it was a symphony. You're supposed to dress up. Dude, we were so overdressed.
on. Of course.
And people were making fun of us, but they were like, you guys look great, but why'd you wear a tux? I was like, I thought everybody was going to dress up. But anyways, the celebration of S&M went from an out-of-nowhere anniversary announcement to a worldwide spectacle that demanded a second date that I went to and drew fans from across the globe. Metallica, ooh yeah, has been doing extensive box set releases for its catalog. So what made you decide to celebrate S&M by doing 2 entirely new shows?
Always good to see you out here. Thanks for rolling out. As you guys know, and people who pay attention to basketball and so on, it's been a while. It's been a while coming, but San Francisco finally has a world-class arena in San Francisco itself, and obviously a big deal to everybody here in the Bay Area. And so it's been on the radar for some time that this new arena was coming, and San Francisco's a pretty small town when it comes to these things, so we got included in those conversations pretty early about being part of that opening celebration. We didn't exactly knew what it was going to entail, but they have our number. And so about 6 months ago, give or take, we got the call that it was official. They had an official opening date, and a couple of the great people that work with the Chase Center. But it was basically, it's 20th anniversary of your S&M shows. Does that mean anything? Is that something that could lead to something cool? And then one thing, and within a week, these shows had come together. And I think it was important for Metallica. This was a celebration of San Francisco. This was a celebration of the Bay Area. This was not, dude, Metallica, we're the first rock band in. I mean, who gives a shit about that? This was a celebration for the Bay Area and for everything that that sports and just living here means. So the fact that we could be part of that celebration with a Bay Area institution like the San Francisco Symphony was an amazing thing. And so when we did these shows 20 years ago, was a little more under the radar. It was maybe a little more of a Metallica thing or a little more of a kind of a metal hard rock thing. And this time around, we greatly underestimated the size and the people that wanted to come and share in this particular endeavor with us. And there were a few Metallica fans that were, what word should I use here? slightly miffed, maybe, that they couldn't get tickets. So we made a couple phone calls, and we put a second show together. And we're very proud of that second show because that was something that we've never done at that scale, which was have a show just for members of Metallica's fan club in a 17,000-seat arena was pretty amazing. And so the fact that Metallica fans came from all over the world with their flags and representing all these incredible countries. I think there was there fans from like more than 50 countries. I mean, it was insane. You were there. That the energy in that room. Friday night, the first show was incredible. It was that sense of this is kicking off something like next level and so on. But that Sunday, where it was basically Metallica fans only, was insane. Really insane. It was very, for me, just to stand on stage and feel the love, but also the sort of the commitment. When people travel, that's a commitment. You got to spend money on plane tickets. You got to get hotels. You got to uproot. So one thing is just, hey, I'm driving over to the Chase Center, like we do. But when people like yourself come from far away, and people came from all over Latin America and Asia and Europe, and I mean that's a crazy thing. So the fact that happened, and the fact that the Metallica fans do that still blows my mind. And we've had this. You probably know about this. We have this thing that we sell called Black Ticket, which is if you buy a black ticket to a tour, then you can go to any show on that tour. And there are actually Metallica fans that follow us everywhere we go. And so, a couple kids in Europe went to like every single show. We meet them, we hang out with them. They become part of the family. They know the crew guys. They know the support bands. They get together at the Enter Night and Blackened events that take place in the cities on the day before. So there's this whole kind of, I think you said Grateful Dead. I mean, there's a whole thing that's happening, and it's just so cool that we can have that kind of connection, not just to the fans, but they also can have that connection to each other. And so when James says family up on stage numerous times a night, and when we use that word, it's not just a word we throw away lightly. Oh, the Metallica family. I mean, it really means something. And so when people traveled all over the world to come in for that second show, it was just incredible. Absolutely fucking incredible. All right.
Hey, Lars, Paul Tonelli, the Tonelli half of Lamont and Tonelli, 107.7 The Bone in San Francisco. And you just mentioned scope or scale, and you look at the scope or scale of a 3-day festival or a huge rock show, and the years that you've been doing it, and you compare these festivals from years ago to today, what's changed for Metallica when it comes to presentation or behind-the-scenes production of putting on a show like this?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
That's a
Nice
great
to be here.
question. Let me twirl that one in my mind. I think, sort of like I was just telling Jose, I think the band generally is just we're in a different headspace. I think that as we grow older, maybe slightly wiser. Let's not emphasize that too much, but I think there's for us is a different sense of appreciation for what it is that Metallica facilitates, represents, makes happen. And I think maybe 20 years ago, at least speaking for myself, my eyes I didn't really maybe allow myself to take it all in. And so I was thinking more about myself and, hey, let's go get some drinks or get some beers or whatever. It's like, so now you kind of sit up on stage. You're like, holy shit! Look at all this. Look at how the music really can bring people together, and not just in America, but obviously all over the world. And newer places are opening up in faraway places where there wasn't the infrastructure in the past to put on rock and roll shows, and social media and all the rest of it. So I think for me, what's changed is as we go around, is it's just a different sense of appreciation for the fact that we can still do what we're doing, and we can still bring people together, and people can connect around music, and that Metallica really. I used to. Just kind of dawned upon me in the last year or so. I used to be very, and all of us used to be very protective. Metallica's ours. Don't fuck with Metallica. We decide what happens with Metallica, and it's very kind of like inward. Now I feel kind of the opposite, which is Metallica belongs to everybody, and Metallica is this thing that we're maybe the shepherds or the facilitators, or we write the music, or sort of make it happen. But Metallica is really like a state of mind, and that everybody's equally welcome to partake in that. And so I think when we show up at festivals, and when we go out and do our thing, it's just the main difference from back in the day is just a different mindset. Does that make sense?
Head across the aisle for our next question.
Nick Wetta from 96 Rock. Thanks for having us out here, Lars. You're playing 2 shows in a 3-night span, and I know for us in Cincinnati, that's awesome because we get 2 awesome festivals we get to go to with Sonic Temple and Louder Than Life. So we're essentially seeing you 4 times, and it's awesome. So, but playing those 2 shows,
which is closer? Hang on. So Louisville or
they're
or
both
Columbus?
about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how you're driving.
Okay.
So again. Wow. It's an awesome experience. But
We get to see him more than you, though.
That is true. That is true. But doing 2 shows in that 3-night span, like, how does that change your way to prepare for a weekend, essentially? Not only physically, you joked about having to go to the gym, but mentally as well. And being on tour all this time, what's something like this? What's one thing that you're going to need to have on tour that you can't go without?
Oxygen tanks. No. That's it. When it's time to clear the comedian's tent, then we'll show up and tell bad jokes. I'm sorry. Well, thank you for coming out, and thank you. I mean, again, like we talked about, Cincinnati was an incredible highlight 7-8 months ago. We love this part of the country, and the fact that there may be fans coming to both Columbus and Louisville will be amazing. Anybody who knows us, we stopped doing back-to-backs on the beginning of the Hardwire tour. So back-to-backs means 2 shows in a row. So now we do show day off. And it's actually funny because every time I say show day off, I always catch myself and go, it's not really a day off. It's more of a recuperation day. It's like show and then, kind of get your battered body back together. As you guys know, we play north of 2 hours every night. And obviously, it's still physical, very physical. And we pride ourselves on that physicality. And we do take it seriously in terms of our preparations and working out and staying healthy and so on. So it's... doing the show day off show is something that we have been used to for the better part of 3 years. But again, and obviously we've done doubles in cities, but we've never done this experience before. So for us in the band and for our whole sort of organization, it's a super exciting thing. Again, some of the details, like we've already talked about, haven't quite been ironed out in terms of some of you guys suggested, albums or set list or all that stuff. But I always have faith in that comes together in the last few minutes, and that how it always is. But it'll be great to be able to hang out in the same town. It'll be great to be able to go to some of the shows, feel the energy of the festival on that Saturday, and so. In a lot of these cities, we'll probably roll in Thursday, roll out Monday. We'll get a chance to park ourselves and embed ourselves a little deeper than normally, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Couple questions left.
Yeah. Hey, Lars.
Hey.
Good to see you. Kind of.
Back at you.
Can I do this?
Yeah.
Marcy Weiser, 95.5 KLOS. Really great to see you again. And thanks for all you guys do in the community. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Really good stuff. So my question is, have you made any progress on your goal as a band to be the first band to play in space?
Well,
Hey, we want to
Kirk,
promote that
yeah,
show.
yeah, right.
I'm in.
And you will.
Hey,
yeah, so
Warren, send the offer now.
For
Kirk,
space.
Kirk Hammett is talking to both Elon Musk and Richard Branson, as Kirk is spearheading this one. No, I mean obviously, as we talked about before, the world is shrinking in terms of that side of it. Many more countries have infrastructures and have just practicals now that support and make rock and roll shows happen. We even, as some of you guys know, played in the Antarctic a couple years ago, South Pole. And so we've played all 7 continents. Space, obviously, is the next frontier. Of course. I'm not sure what else to say about that one. You know that Metallica always loves going in first. If not first, then second to the Scorpions only. And who seem to go, who also have, and I mean that with nothing but love, but they also have sort of a wanderlust like we do. And, so it's great when you get offered new places to play and invited to uncharted territories like these festivals. So it's great. But space, of course, if you can find a way to make it work in space, I'll fucking be there. Yeah. Okay.
One final question.
All right. I'm Susie Cole from Apple Music and also Beats One, part of our whole
Great to see you
shebang.
again.
Good to see you too. This is amazing up here. And again, I almost cried in there too. It was so cool. So I know we're like 8 months out from it starting and everything, but Metallica has always been known for giant, massive, crazy, amazing, mind-blowing production. How do the production elements come about? Is it something that you guys kind of start, you kick off? Do you have a production team? And what can we kind of expect for these amazing shows?
Well, nice to see you again. Thanks for coming. It's obviously when you're playing a festival, you want to be respectful to the other bands. So it's a balancing act, really. When we play our own arena shows, when we play our own stadium shows, when we play our own, backyard barbecues or whatever we play. I mean, obviously we control all the moving parts to that, and we try to make it as exciting as possible, as intimate as possible as you can in the big settings and so on and so forth. When you're playing festivals, obviously you want to be respectful to the fact that there is an existing setup and there are other bands that may not want to deal with your shit or have different bells and whistles that they like to share with their fans. So it's a balancing act. We did ACL last year and introduced some visuals that were the first time that we had used at a festival. We felt that those were pretty cool, and I think that as we start thinking about what we can do with these 5 festivals next year, that's probably not a bad point of origin. So it's just really about working with the production teams at the festival and finding the right, because we don't want to, hey, we're the headliner and you got to do, So it's about a shared experience with all the other bands and obviously, the fans. And so it's just finding those right balances. And whatever will happen and where it'll end up next year, it'll be cool as fuck, and it'll be respectful to
Within
all the other
budget.
bands. And, respectful to the budget, of course. Of course.
Tony listening here?
Where's Tony at? Where's Tony?
Does that help? Yeah, awesome. All right. Thank you.
Before we wrap it up, I know, Danny, you had something to add.
Well, I follow you guys, and you guys gives back every city you're in. And All Within My Hands is such a great charity. And I watch every night. What's great about what you guys do is you raise money every city you're at, and you keep the money in the city, and that means a lot to us. So, listen, we want to give you a head start. We would love to give you $25,000 to your charity to kickstart that. And my brother here and a lot of our DWP people here, you know, it's, dude, you're the hardest working guy. Your whole team is the hardest working in show business. You're the biggest man in the world because you have one of the greatest management teams. You got Team HQ here. You guys, to me, leave everything on the stage. You guys give back so much. I just feel like it's the right thing for us to do. Let's kickstart this. I mean, you guys are just at another level. And you know what? You know what's unbelievable about this band? I'm going to call myself out. I probably won't book you two or anything like that, Rolling Stones. But you write relevant music. You write relevant music. 35 years. Hardwire record. When I heard that record, me and Gary heard that record, we called Cliff and going, this is going to be a huge run. Please schedule us in there because this is going to be a long run. Writing relevant music after 35 years, nobody is doing that. And
thank you so much,
man. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to partner with you in 2020.
Thank
man.
you.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks a lot, my man. Thank you.
I really appreciate what you're saying, Danny, and you know, those of you who know, and I think most of you guys, we all know each other well. I squirm a little bit when everything gets too overly complimentary, but I do really appreciate your words, and I take them to heart. And I thank you for everything that you've said. This is going to be an incredibly cool undertaking, and the fact that you had the vision to even throw this at us is a testament to how awesome you are and your whole organization. So this is something, you know, that again we've never done before, and how awesome is it that 38 years into a career you can still find new challenges and new mountains to climb and shit that still turns you on rather than going out and just regurgitating and doing the same shit over and over again. So Metallica is blessed to have those opportunities, and we're really looking forward to next year.
Yeah, we are too, man.
Let's roll.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Come on.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
A reminder, pre-sale tickets are now officially available to Met Club fans and to all past ticket purchasers of Epicenter, Welcome to Rockville, Sonic Temple, Louder Than Life, and Aftershock. General admission weekend and VIP weekend tickets to all 5 festivals will be on sale to the general public this Monday, October 14, at 9 a.m. Pacific and noon Eastern. Go to MetallicaXX.com for more info and to purchase tickets. Before we go, Lars, and to the HQ family at large for having us here, I think I speak for everybody in this room when I say thank you so much. This place is amazing.
Thank you.
There's a lot of love in this room, and there's going to be a lot of love in 2020 and going forward as well. Thank you for welcoming us.
Thank
into
you
your
so
home.
much. All right. Thank you.
And we'll see you at the shows. Thanks for being here.